Hey everyone, and welcome back to the Tech Seeking Human Data Digest, which we've already renamed because this is Ellie's second week back and she decided that Data Digest was a terrible name for a short version of a podcast. Welcome back, Ellie.
Thanks so much. I do want to just really clarify the reason why. And that is because I hear the word digest and all I can think about is the Reader's Digest. That's a very small little magazine that used to exist in news agencies. And you'd be in like this really sleepy kind of coastal town. And there was like one news agency in the whole of like 100 kilometers radius. And that was like their main magazine. That's what I think of. It's not cool.
Sleepy town reading a magazine by the beach. Doesn't that give you good vibes? Don't you want this how this podcast should feel?
Yes, but let me ask you this. What was included in the Reader's Digest? Couldn't tell you. Don't know what the content covered. Was it books? Was it popular culture? I couldn't tell you.
What are you calling the podcast now then?
We're calling it Data Blitz because it's all about unpacking data quickly and in like a really cool way.
How modern. The Data Blitz. Or is it Data Blitz? Let's stay tuned to find out. Episode 3, we're going to jump into, I think we should talk about something that no one's talking about. Maybe we should talk about AI, and we're going to pull out the report from our good friends at Twilio. And if you didn't check out episode 2, we covered the Content Square benchmarks report, which was really interesting because we're really spoilt when it comes to using mobile devices, and we're increasingly frustrated. 2 in 5 users are having a frustrated experience. Traffic volumes globally are down. Conversions are down by 5.5%. And here's a shock. The world's gone mobile. I think it's up to 70% of the global traffic now is on a mobile device. Conversion rates for mobile are only 2%. Web conversions are 4%. You don't have to be a genius to figure out what we need to do. We need to close the gap between that 2% and 4%. So it's all about mobile, people. But let's get back to AI, Ellie.
Yes, something that nobody's talking about.
Things are moving really fast. Bard has been renamed Gemini. ChatGPT allegedly leaked that it's reached AGI, which is Artificial General Intelligence, which does freak me out. And Sam Altman is on the hunt for $7 trillion for some chips.
7 trillion? Is that all? That kind of number just reminds me of like a Dr. Evil kind of $7 trillion.
Why make trillions when we could make billion?
A trillion is more than a billion, numbnuts.
Cool. Let's just jump into it. So Twilio is for those that don't know, is a customer engagement platform that provides personalization at scale. They have recently released their growth report, which highlights how businesses are approaching growth, marketing, and new technology against this year's specific economic and business changes. Focus for this year, naturally, AI, and specifically how companies are going to use AI to grow sustainably despite economic hardships, which we are all very familiar with. The report itself covers 2,450 leaders across marketing, CX, and data. So the first big stat we unpack is that 88% of businesses are using some form of AI in their organization. It's hardly surprising that it's that high. We probably think that maybe that 12% that aren't using it just don't really know how.
I think also the 12% might not even know that they are using it and they don't know what that AI is. And I think the key is everyone is talking about AI. It's at the massive hype cycle at the moment. You need to be trialing it. You need to be experimenting it. At every single marketing event I've been to, everyone is doing a panel or having a discussion about what AI is going to do for the organization. And I do believe the only way to figure it out is to try it for yourselves.
It's interesting that 83% of businesses surveyed in this report are experimenting with AI, mostly in production across marketing channels. So that's mostly in the form of chatbots. But what I really loved seeing is how that's quite a small part of what everyone said were their ambitions.
Yeah, it's probably not surprising that a lot of these organizations are using the chatbots. So they're using things like that are off the shelf being supplied to them. You know what I think will be really interesting is when teams are able to work out how they can customize their own AI to really understand end-to-end journeys and start to design experiences that could include automated email sends, highly personalized offers that could really take care of a user's journey all the way from, say, your e-commerce, from purchase through to checkout to post experience to personalized offers and the full entire experience.
Yeah, it just feels like a no-brainer. I mean, what better place for AI to support businesses than to kind of helping to shape better, more personalized interactions with the consumers. Like, I love it. I suspect this will quite quickly become the norm in the next few years. I think the next trend that we kind of saw that definitely seems to be weighing on people's mind is the 3 letters that everybody needs and wants and searches for, and that's ROI. I think there's still a lot of uncertainty around how AI will be most useful. 26% in the report said they're still trying to figure that out, and 22% say that they need to experiment with AI to really form an opinion. I mean, I just think that kind of is the biggest issue at the moment, right?
Yeah, it's probably not surprising because it's such a new technology for people not to have worked out where the ROI is coming from. A lot of people are very early in their journey. I did see in the report that 90% of organizations believe that AI will provide cost savings or even time savings. I mean, of course it would. Otherwise, why would you bother? And that's why there's such a hype around this AI technology. I think the trick now is to identify the success that you can have, even if they're small little AI successes that you can have, and share those successes with the organization, even if they're soft metrics that don't necessarily prove big ROI but show value so that you can continue to maintain your momentum. And I'm a big believer in experimentation because you've got to break these big goals down into small chunks. You've got to keep experimenting and keep learning. It's a new technology. And as one of my favorite presenters said, he's not actually one of my favorite presenters, but actually one of the favorite quotes that I remembered for him is, if it can be done, it will be done. If you don't do it, someone else will. And so that's a real indicator at the moment is, if you don't start experimenting with AI, you are going to get left behind, and you might as well just pack up shop and go home.
Yeah, I mean, I'm from the creative industry, so experimentation is literally almost the bread and butter of everything that we do. So some other interesting points that came up in this report was that the concerns around data privacy. So 28% felt that there were concerns there, and 38% felt that there was a lack of employee training around AI, which I think goes again to what we were talking about before around experimentation, about there not necessarily being people on the ground within organizations that know how to apply it or how to use it.
Yeah, I think that number's low. I think you got to remember that people that know Twilio or were surveyed by a Twilio report are probably a little bit more tech forward than those that aren't. And so you would expect that they're probably already okay with data privacy. And I think the training, you don't have formalized training right now because it's so new. Like, imagine getting formalized training on Bard and it became Gemini in the overnight. So I think it's just such an immature market. People are experimenting with it. I'm not surprised that data privacy for this particular survey, that number is low. It is definitely, though, not to be dismissed and not to be diminished, because data privacy is super important and will be increasingly important. So I think whilst this report is saying it's low, it actually should be a little bit higher.
Yet again, this is another report that's just highlighting how AI is becoming very main street. And if you aren't experimenting with it, you better really get into it. I think there's a lot of questions, particularly in my industry, around if AI is coming for your job. And I think I mentioned this earlier, but creatives are a little nervous about kind of the impact it's going to have on their job. The speed at which you can create imagery now with Midjourney, it's mind blowing. But I do think that there is real potential for AI to support the creative functions. And to validate the thinking and their kind of creative output. So I do think that there isn't reason to fear it. It's just really getting into the weeds and understanding how best to apply it.
Thanks for joining. I hope you join us next week. Don't forget to smash a like button or hit subscribe.
Smash a like button.
That's what the kids do these days. They smash like buttons. So don't forget to smash a like button or leave a comment and let us know what you think. Hopefully you're enjoying our podcast. We're having a lot of fun as we dive into all the statistics. We can't wait to bring you more trends. It's part of the Tech Seeking Human series. See you next week, Ellie.
Thanks. See you next week. Bye.
For a lot of humans that probably don't want to do those mundane tasks and would prefer to do something else. So as long as there's an opportunity to reskill, all for it, but also don't want to speak on behalf of people that work in the industry, which I just did. So I don't know what I was trying to do then. I was like, I feel sorry for you. I don't work in that industry. I'm trying to say I feel empathetic to go get reskilled because the machines are coming. The machines aren't coming for your job. unless you work in mining, manufacturing, warehousing.
All the industries that technology does not play any
that
significant
is-
role in their role.
Yeah, that is coming for your job, and you should probably do something else.
And on that cheery note,
Awesome. Thanks for joining us. Don't forget to smash a like button or hit a subscribe or whatever
I don't-
kids say
no,
these
go back.
days.
Don't-
What? Why? Well, I'm not allowed to
I
say
don't
that.
say smash a like. I don't like it. Smash a like.
But that was the whole
That's just
joke.
not-
That's the joke. What the kids do these days. I watch YouTube.
Is that what they do?
Yeah.